Boom, alum, alum. Live on YouTube. Copy to game of the day. So, candidates, round 14, breakdown. And in some cases, we are talking about a total breakdown. But let's start with what I think is the game of the day. Ding Liren won against Nepomniachtchi, which makes Ding Liren the winner of the tournament. That means from round 8 to round 14. Since he was last time around, brings him to 50%. So the game was same-ish, King's Indian, and the two players have played this with each other a number of times before, with sort of even chances. This time Ding, he decided to put the bishop on d3. Here I thought b5 looked fun. Okay, anyway, we get a normal looking same-ish position, but with this strange bishop d3. But okay, the position is fine for both players. Here the computer sort of says that white is marginally better here. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, knight e2 was played, queen h4, knight d4, and this was the critical moment of the game, and more or less the only critical moment of the game, where if black plays cd4, he's threatening knight g3 check, king g1 forced, and then g5 and g4, and black has sufficient counterplay. The position is unclear. Of course, the computer is 0.00 equal, but unclear is a much better evaluation for humans. But instead, Nepomniachtchi took here, which is just incredibly ugly. And the reason why this is bad is that in this variation, after queen e3 or queen d2, black totally lost the fight for the dark squares. Robert says all his favorite player lost today. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Here, black's last chance was g5, which is sort of a trap, not a very deep trap. But after e5, it's still very, very dangerous for black. And the knight is still stuck on h2. He castled, came queen g5, tried to give up the knight like this. Already white is better in material sense. But also here queen d3, queen f6, it will very quickly be made one way or the other. So he's played f6. This endgame is just hopeless, and white won easily. And I click something. Okay. The most interesting game, but not game of the day, because the other game is the most important story, was Giri against Alexenko. And this shows that Giri, he plays quite well when he's better. And often when he is worse, he plays well, but this time not. So there was a number of moments here early on in the game where I thought he played in a very sad way, maybe just trying to force a draw. Here he took on d5, which doesn't really make sense to me. a3, take, total equality. If take on c4, we can take with the knight. b3 is not hanging. But okay, bishop d5, still a3. But somehow he got himself into this kind of position here where it's getting to be just a very tiny bit worse. He took an f6, which I don't like very much. I think the bishop is potentially a good piece. I don't see the knight being a very good piece. But of course, the position is just equal. Still equal after takes. And here if white plays rook d2, in exchange, he has time for rook d1. So in the game he took with the knight here, black played king g7, and we get the same position, except black has played king g7, which means that after knight e4, take, rook d1 no longer works because rook d8 is not check. So here knight c3 would win. So now black actually managed to establish a strong knight in the center and a little bit of an advantage. Queen b2, a5. Here b4, which I don't like very much either. You could argue that objectively it doesn't make a huge difference, but just long term, this pawn on a3, life would be much better without it. For example, here I put in rook c1, take, rook c4, and white has counterplay against the b4 pawn, which is as weak as b3 pawn, and it's just equal. But after b4, a4, here white's a little bit worse. And again, we shall see that Geary, he played reasonably here. He played some very solid moves back and forward. No reason to do anything here. He missed the chance to play rook d1, exchange the rooks, get rid of this pressure at a good moment. While here, it's just slightly worse situation. Okay, e4 was good. Don't get d5 square to the queen. And here, and now again, just wait. See what black is actually trying to do. But suddenly came this truly ghastly move. And it really is a move where you wonder what's going on. Did Geary leave the building? At least mentally. Queen c7, exploiting the weaker f4 square. 92, and here there was a very nice point that queen f4 was winning. Because after take, and if take here, then check, and then check on f3 or h3, for example, like this, and bang, and everything is lost. And if queen c3, then take, check, dominating the queen, and here. And the white king is in a lot of trouble. Black's a pawn up, and it's a winning endgame. Okay, so 95 was fine. Queen e3, h6 was nice, f4. And here he took on g4, which looks very, very normal, but knight c4. Here we just want to take on a3, so white sort of has to take it, or f4, a3 will fall. So take, b5, c3, b6, and queen c6. Of course, this requires some calculation to see that the black's winning here. Oh, John Hartman is here saying, weird being on this side of the interface. I miss you, mate. Okay, so here, if, for example, if b7, white is losing that pawn, and if the queen comes to b3, it's annoying, and also the pawns on the king side are very weak. Black should win. I still think queen f4 and move 38 was a simpler win, but this is still winning also. And they get to this position, and this is this sliding scale we often see where the positions become more and more difficult to play. So we had some things that I found was sort of reasonably easy, and here this is still within human control, human capability. e5 was a strong move. If we take here, then take here, and queen e5 check is coming. And if take here, then here. And the problem is knight e4, queen c2 check. And all kind of things are happening to white. And if e6, then take, and f5, where the pawns are all working together, and the e6 pawn is doomed. Also, a move like king f8 keeps a huge advantage, but he's played queen b6, which is forcing matters. h3, h4, queen c3 check. Knight f6, take, knight f3, queen e6 check. And here white missed queen e3, which holds the draw. Now, the main idea is just to take on h4. So here black has to do something. And I guess what Geary missed, and this is very typical Geary thing, he missed queen e5 check here. Or maybe he didn't see that the endgame was a reasonable chance to hold. Or he didn't see what happened in the game. There's a number of things that could happen with missing things, but it's a matter of calculation, more or less anyway. Here, this endgame is by no means obvious, but it turns out that white is in time with counterplay to eliminate a pawn, probably the e pawn, and then let's say, for example, here, my analysis stop here, but let's say here, and go here, and here, and next move is knight b5, and then king a4. and draw. So king d2 was played instead, and then check. And now this is not the same. There's no check on e5, and this ending here ends with a zugzwang. I could play a number of things here, and they all lose. I just put one in, which was like this. And black just keeps the a-pawn over there as a threat, and then slowly wins on the king side. Instead, the game continued with queen d3, check, queen a2, and the white king is in huge danger. And the rest of the moves were sort of irrelevant. Game between MVL and Wang Hao was a little bit sad. Apparently, this was Wang Hao's last professional game. So it was all repeat of a game between MVL and Nakamura that ended in an uneventful draw. Kusha is saying Jakob can put this game in What's Wrong with Anish Giri. It would not be the name of the book. It was a bit too much of a character assassination. And it's all meant, just anyone haven't heard about this before, it's all meant in a very, very loving way. So a few years ago, I gave a training camp with the best US juniors in St. Louis. And one of the participants asked me, Jakob, is Anish Giri your celebrity crush? And I texted my girlfriend, and the answer came back, yeah, obviously. So there's a little bit obsession with this very interesting chess player, but also about his inability to convert winning positions because he has a lot of them. He's not a boring player. But let's go to this MVL against Wang Hao. So Wang Hao repeats this, and MVL repeats it, and he probably has nothing special prepared here. And here, for example, knight d6. If pawn takes, then the king can block the pawn. And there are many ways to play for a draw. So this is very, very much a computer line. I just thought it was funny. It's very rare that black can go for pawn ending in these things. So white can try a few things here and there. Not right here. Here, I think it's probably just a draw. But this is always the point of the Berlin. White is trying a little bit, and black can go wrong. And this is what happened here. Rook d8, rook e1. And now it's not so easy for black to free himself. Still, he plays some good moves. Improved on the queen side. And now if you play rook ab8 and wait a little bit, he would be fine. But he played knight g7, and the position already lost. White gets a chance to double the rooks. And here. And it's already starting to threaten various things. And here Wang Hao blundered, and he loses more material. And in this rook ending with 1 or 2 pawns down, he's just lost. Finally, the last game of the day was by far the most boring. So Caruana tried queen d3 in this position, didn't go anywhere. Move 10, Gristro could have taken. And this kind of position here, he's maybe playing for an advantage. For example, this was something I was looking at for seconds. It was just really an uneventful game. And they went into this ending, and they played on. And I don't know, here, e4 was maybe a push. But even here, the pawn ending was a draw. And the game was soon a draw. So this is the end of the tournament. As we know, Nepomniachtchi will challenge Carlsen in the match in Dubai at the end of the year. We already talked about this a lot, John Hartman and myself yesterday. Oh, I can see Nikos is there. Hi, Nikos. And Nikos is talking about his lecture that he's going to give at killerchesstraining.com, our online academy with daily lessons. We have a exclusive in-depth camp coming up this weekend. I think it is 99 euros to participate for members and 249 to participate for non-members, but it includes a month's trial membership to our platform, which is, so it's probably 248 because that's normally 149. I don't do the accounting. Or you could sign up as a yearly member and get the camp for free. I think it's 749 euros a year, and we have about 500 lessons a year and access to at least 50, 60 videos of previous classes at any time if you are not able to watch them live. We have tournaments on chess. We have a lot of activities. If you want to get better at chess, this is a good place to join us. And what else to say? Well, I just want to say this very briefly. Some of you have probably seen that Daniel Dubov yesterday tried to be funny, making some comments about the content of Elmira Shevchenko's computer. And I personally thought that today would have been a good day for Dubov to rest. And I think FIDE wildly misunderstood how women view these things. And I hope that at some point in chess, we will get past the male point of view on these kind of things. So this is a little sad note. I think all in all, this experiment of having the tournament over two halves a year apart was a fiasco. I think the right winner of this tournament here has been Ding Liren. He made the most points, but because he played badly at the start of the pandemic, where half the players were crazy and some of them expressively said they didn't want to be there, Wang Hao and Grischo. I think it went very bad, but I don't see any good solutions existing. But hopefully the match in Dubai will be played in a very different atmosphere, and there will be a really nice experience for us chess fans. And well, I might even go there and have a look. Why not? Would you like to go to Dubai and look at the World Championship match?
Yes.
I have just received permission. So, oh, you want to come? Do I have to come?
You might be allowed.
I might be allowed. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you to all my 5 viewers who watched these videos. They were fun to do, and I don't know, maybe we'll do it again in a year or two when they have another candidates tournament. Thank you very much.